to have fun too. Okay, without any further delay, I just wanna present here on the stage and ask him to be here to give us the whole idea, the whole information. I'm so excited. Today was my first time to meet him. I'm very honored and pleasure to host him here as one of our special guests. He is the guy, the brain, the genius behind all this project. Please help me welcome on stage the CEO of QuickX, Mr. Adhlakha Kshitij.
Thank you very much. Okay. So before I start, I simply want to ask a general question. He asked about how many of you have heard about blockchain, how many of you have heard about Bitcoin. My question is, how many of you have ever invested in Bitcoin? Just give me a clap. Okay, few people have invested in Bitcoin. So all those people who have invested in Bitcoin, can you tell me, if we have a Bitcoin right now, can you go to a coffee shop and pay for your coffee using your Bitcoin? No. Then why we call it a currency? A virtual currency. It cannot be accepted anywhere. We go to the coffee shops, we pay in dirhams, we pay in dollars, we pay in other currencies which we have been using from years. But why we don't pay in Bitcoin? It is also a currency. So when we started in blockchain, this was the main agenda. We saw that we have to make sure that cryptos, or we say virtual currencies, should be used in day-to-day life. That is the major problem that every crypto is facing right now. So before going ahead and telling you about QuickX, I'll give you a brief about me and the company which I own. So the brain behind QuickX is the company, the parent company Kshitij. I own the company Kshitij, which has started in 2010 as a cybersecurity company. And starting from a very scratch, from a final year engineering student to becoming one of the top 5 cybersecurity companies in India in less than 5 years. This is what we achieved. And in 2016, we were in top 5 cyber forensics companies of the India. 2017, we were in top 10 most trusted enterprise security solutions and 25 fastest tech growing companies of the country. And along with that, in 2017, we were honored by an award from Vice President of India. So this is what we have done till now. And not only this, in last 10 years, we have been working with many clients from SMEs to Fortune 500 companies, which includes Salam Airlines, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Bank of Kigali, separate different government entities, Vodafone, and these are few of the clients which we have already worked on. If I totally start on counting the client list, I think I'll be speaking continuously for next 2 hours, telling about the clients. Right now also, we are working with certain different governments in security projects. So this is the background. Why I told you about my background, because when we talk about any project or any company, I have seen it in the past that anybody from a real estate background or a pharma background comes into the blockchain and says, okay, I'm going to bring revolution. Having no tech background, having no knowledge about technology, they want to bring revolution in one of the most technical fields. So this has been happening in last 1.5 years in blockchain era. So we witnessed that. So this is the background. So whenever we talk about technology, we know what we are technology, and we talk sense about technology. We don't say that, okay, we are gonna make something which is like unbelievable. So we don't do that. So talking about this, we started QuickX in 2016. We started researching more into blockchain. We saw that what is basically Bitcoin, which is gaining a lot of traction and everybody is investing into Bitcoin. The price is increasing day by day. The first Bitcoin was introduced to me in 2010, which we refused to take. Rather, hundreds of Bitcoins were offered to us for just $5, which we simply refused to take. Okay, we don't want Bitcoin, just pay us $5, we are happy with that. So we refused it at that time. But in 2016, when crypto market started getting a lot of traction, Bitcoin price started shooting up, everybody was interested towards blockchain. And we kept aside one of our R&D team to work only in blockchain. Then we figured out what are the basic problems which are hindering the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. That everybody is talking about cryptos, but what are the problems that crypto is facing? The first problem was time and speed. So when we talk about time and speed, if you have Bitcoin right now and you transfer one Bitcoin to somebody, it takes a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes for the transaction to get complete. So imagine a scenario. You go to a coffee shop, and going to a coffee shop, you order a hot coffee and make a transaction in Bitcoin. So by the time your transaction gets complete, you'll get a cold coffee, not a hot coffee. So practically it is not possible to use Bitcoin or any other currency for day-to-day transactions. The second problem was the transaction cost. When there is a huge large number of people doing transactions, so at that time the network is congested and transaction cost goes up. And there were times that for doing a transaction worth $5, we ended up paying $5 as fees. So I will never go to a coffee shop and buy a coffee worth $5 and pay $5 as a fees. So I will never do that. So this is one of the major problems. Third problem is scalability. Now, there are two top currencies right now, and why I always take example of these two currencies, because these dominate 95% of the entire crypto market right now. Bitcoin has a transaction rate of 7 transactions per second. Ethereum blockchain can have 15 to 20 transactions per second. But when I compare it with the centralized systems, that is PayPal can have 193 transactions per second. Visa can handle 56,000 transactions per second. So when I am talking about 56,000 transactions per second, and I'm comparing it with blockchain, 7 transactions per second, why do I need blockchain? I'm happy with Visa. I'm happy with MasterCard. So this was one of the major problems. After that, interoperability. Now, we always say that everything is getting into tokenized, more and more currencies are coming, more and more tokens are coming. Fine, it's good. But what if I have one currency and you have some other currency, and I want to transfer my one currency to you? There's a huge process to do the conversion of the currency. It's a time-taking process, a tedious process, and a costly process. So interoperability is one of the major problems. And to solve this, we started working on building a solution that is a QuickX Protocol. I won't go deep into the details that what exactly we did with it, but I will explain you in a very layman example that how exactly we are doing it. So we are solving the problem of same cryptos like Bitcoin as by doing the transactions off-chain. How off-chain mechanism works? Take an example of a bank. You have an account in a bank. Let's take an example. You have an account in a bank A. In the same branch, in the same bank, you also have an account. Now, you open your laptop, make a transfer of $10,000 from one account to another account. What exactly happens at the back end? The bank manager immediately after your transaction is received goes, fills in the form, withdraws the cash, again fills in the form for your account and deposits the cash. Does it actually happen? It does not happen. The transaction happens immediately without any physical involvement of the bank manager or anybody from the bank. So that is a commitment transaction that happens. Now, he transferred that $10,000 to him. Now he transfers that $10,000 to me. Now in the whole process, 4 transactions actually happened, but none of them is a real transaction. Now I go to an ATM and I withdraw $10,000 cash. So in the whole process, the first transaction was made by me. Rest of the transactions were done, they were the commitment transactions. So these commitment transactions are possible in blockchain also. So we are using the same commitment transactions for the same blockchain assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum or any ERC22, Ether or any other ERC20 token. So this is the process we are using. And for cross-chain as in 2 different currencies, another blockchain. One is Bitcoin blockchain, another is Ethereum blockchain. What we are doing in that, I'll explain it with a normal example like internet. Consider early stages when there was no internet and only intranet was there. Consider one building. We have a board and a pen, that's great. So, I'll consider this building B1 with 100 computers, all computers connected to each other through LAN wires. So the problem of file transfer was easily solved. One computer can transfer any file to another computer within this building. Now take example of another building B2. having again 100 computers, all connected to each other through LAN wires or intranet. So they can transfer all files within each other easily. The problem of building 2 is sorted. Now what if somebody from building 1 wants to transfer file to building 2? There was nothing. So at that time, ISPs came into the picture, internet service providers. They said, you trust us, send us the file, we will send it to the designated person in another building. So we are using the same methodology. Now consider this as blockchain 1, that is Bitcoin blockchain. Consider this as blockchain 2, that is Ethereum blockchain, and replace ISPs with pooling facilitators. These pooling facilitators are the ones who have certain liquidity. These can be exchanges, these can be HNIs with huge amount of liquidity, or any centralized or decentralized exchanges. Anybody can be a part of these pooling facilitators. So this is how we solve the problem of cross-chain transfers too. So this is a solution we told people that we are coming up with. And talking about the opportunity size, these are the graphs of just one blockchain wallet. There is a very famous wallet, blockchain wallet, wherein you store your Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that blockchain wallet will have 100 million downloads by 2020. And if you compare the internet user graph with crypto user graph, you will see the curve is going exactly the same. And right now, we are in 1994 of internet. So you can very well imagine what is the scope in future and how exactly the crypto market or the blockchain world is going to grow ahead. I'll share an example with me. What happened with me? When I started using Facebook, in 2008, I made my account on Facebook. At that time, very less people in India knew what Facebook is. I come from India. And Facebook was very new at that time. In 2012-13, my dad told me, why are you using social media? It's a bubble. It's gonna burst. Then WhatsApp came into the picture. I started using WhatsApp a lot. He said, WhatsApp is nothing. Stick to regular messaging. After a few years, he sent me a request on Facebook, a friend request. I said, what happened to you? You asked me to stay away from social media, now you are on social media. Why? He said, I texted 10 of my people on SMS, but nobody responded. I sent them a WhatsApp message, everybody responded immediately. So it always happens. Whenever a new technology comes in, we have the options. Either we lead the revolution or we follow it later. So this is the blockchain revolution which is starting, and at this moment, when less than 1% of the whole world's population know about Bitcoin, we are the ones who know much better than anybody else. So this is the right time to enter into blockchain industry, and this is the right time when we can leave a complete mark on a blockchain industry. Now, talking about the QCX token, I'll tell you a brief about QCX token first. Like the token which we created, that is a QCX token, I'll tell you a brief about it first. We started fundraising for QCX in February-March 2018. For 1 year, 1.5 years, we simply did research. We did not do anything, we did not do fundraising, we did not do anything, we simply did research. Because we have a strong built reputation of 10 years, and if we commit something to people, and if we do not bring it to people, undoubtedly it gives us a very bad name. So we did a complete 1 year, 1.5 year research, and after that research, when we were sure that we can bring something really useful for people, we started fundraising. And at that time, I remember I came to Dubai on 27th March 2018. I met few of the potential investors who said, your project looks amazing. Your vision looks amazing. But we don't trust you. Why? Everything is on paper. A paper called a white paper. You don't have anything physical. We said, okay, we will come up with multi-currency wallet. They said, when you will come, we'll see to it. But I'll tell you, when we talk about multi-currency wallet, we have got a very beautiful multi-currency wallet already live. So this is the multi-currency wallet we have with over 11 currencies in it. And it's properly functional, properly working. So these are the currencies you can hold into it. We have this working multi-currency wallet with a very beautiful interface. So this is what we made. So people said, okay, fine, you committed this. This is nothing rocket science. Anybody can build a multi-currency wallet. This is not something very amazing or something very different you have done. We said, we know, this is just the beginning. We came up with our first product. There are a lot of other things to come. Then, while working on this, we knew what we are actually working on. We were not only working on this multi-currency wallet. Do you know about hardware wallets? Hardware wallets? Can anybody name me any hardware wallet in the market? Ledger Nano. And there is another famous one in the market, that is Trezor. Basically, these are pen drives which you have to attach through your system and open a website, and after putting in the passwords and doing some rocket science stuff for 5 to 7 minutes, then finally you can have access to your millions of dollars worth of funds, or even thousands of dollars worth of funds, whatever you have kept into your hardware wallet. These wallets are the securest wallets to store your cryptocurrencies. Now people have millions of dollars worth of cryptos, so they need to secure it too. They need to keep it somewhere safe. So hardware wallets are the ones where you can store your cryptocurrencies in a purely safe manner. So hardware wallets, people generally, when I say hardware wallets, generally people say, okay, big pen drive that has to be connected to a laptop. Lot of things started coming into the mind. But we created world's slimmest, easiest to use, securest hardware wallet. And I'll show you the hardware wallet that we have. This is the hardware wallet we have. If you have seen a Trezor or a Ledger Nano, this is the hardware wallet that we have, which you can keep it in your wallet. That's it. And why I say this is the securest one? First thing, the chips are manufactured by Samsung. It's EAL All 5-star Plus, KCMVP test passed, FIDO 1 certified and FIDO 2 certified, and only card in the whole world to have a FIDO 2 certification. So it makes sure all the currencies that you have stored in it are purely secure. Nobody can hack it. Now, when I say, okay, we have the wallet, how to use it? That's a task. I'll show you how to use this wallet and how easy or difficult it is to use this wallet. So this is my phone. I simply have to touch this wallet with the phone. So it uses NFC and the application will be opened automatically. And after the application is opened, it is asking me for the authentication. I'll authenticate it with my finger. That is a password. It says, please tap your card to make sure you have the card again. So I touch the card again at the back. It says your card is detected. Please do not move your card. It's done. I'll keep my card in my pocket. I can see all the funds which are there in my card in this application. So this is an interface. It's loading, and you can see all the funds which I have in the cards in this phone in less than a minute. When we compare it to the conventional hardware wallets that people use in the world, this is the easiest wallet to use and the securest wallet to use. Okay, it's a very good question. What if I lose my card? Okay, perfect. Can I trust this card on $1 million worth of, like I have all the funds are here. I can see it, and not only this, I can go here to my wallet, and even if I want to add any more currency, I can click on a plus button and I can add more currencies too manually here. Any number of currencies I can add. Now coming to your question again, what if I lose my card? So whenever you set up your card, it asks for a recovery word, a 12-word or a 24-word recovery word. So you just need to keep that recovery word safe anywhere in the world, whether in a bank, whether in your home, or anywhere in a safe place. So if you lose your card, doesn't matter, order a new card, use those recovery words, get all your funds back. Now the question comes, what if I lose my phone? Doesn't matter, the funds are not there into the phone. The phone is just an interface. I'll get a new phone, touch the card, automatically the application will be downloaded, and after that application I can access my funds. Now the question comes, what if somebody loses the card and the phone altogether? Now I'll give you my phone and my card. Still, you can never access my funds. Why? There are two more authentications over it. The first is the finger authentication which I gave, or the password, and the second authentication is a passphrase, which I have not kept it, but you can keep it there. So this is the safest way to secure your currencies, and in a very fast manner, and accessing your funds in a very easy manner. So this is what we have already brought in. After that, we told people that we will come up with multi-currency debit card. Now, when we say that we'll come up with a crypto debit card, wherein if you have Bitcoin, you can actually go to the market and spend money through debit cards. A lot of people said, not possible. Many companies tried doing it, but they were not able to succeed. How can you, a company who's coming into blockchain 2 years ago, is claiming such big things? We said, no worries. We have been claiming this. This means we will do it. And right now, I'll show you something. The first thing what we got is, we got the Union Pay card. I'll show you something more. I'll just take it out from my bag. I could be showing you any Union Pay card saying, okay, it's a crypto card. Nobody asked me this question, but still I'll show you something. Okay, I could be showing you any Union Pay card here saying, okay, it's a Bitcoin card. Nowhere it is mentioned over here that it's a Bitcoin card, or you can load Bitcoin in it, or a crypto can be used through this card. I could be showing you any card here. But this card comes up with a documentation which clearly explains you that how to load Union Pay card with Bitcoin, all the steps. So this is a card which can be loaded with Bitcoin directly. So when we came up with the Union Pay solution, people started asking us, okay, fine, Union Pay is not very much accepted globally. In Southeast Asia, it's accepted. In Europe, in other countries like India, in UAE, Union Pay is accepted, but it is not very widely accepted. What about in other providers? We said, no problem. We'll come up with MasterCards. Everybody was like, no, you cannot, because MasterCards are not providing these solutions. We said, hold on, we have been working on it from last 2 years, and this is a major solution we are working on. We got the MasterCards too. And not only this, when we got these MasterCards, people were very happy. Okay, MasterCards are here. But what is the daily spending limit of this MasterCard? We said, okay, it's $5,000 per day. So you can spend $5,000 per day with this card. They said, okay, it's fine, but something better could happen there. People are never happy. You give them everything, they're never happy. They're never satisfied. They always want everything, or they always want more. So we said, no problem. We have some other solution too. And after this, we came up with a another solution, that is the premium MasterCards. These MasterCards have a daily spending limit of $200,000. So you can go to any Mercedes showroom, with a single swipe, you can get a Mercedes or any car you like by paying through your cryptos.